as it looked at its formal opening, January the 17th, 1902. The school then had only 4 grades and was half the size it is today. You're seeing it from the side that looks like it's the same, but that's just for 4 rooms as you see it. The street was called Pine Avenue, and Poplar ran on the other side of it. It was built at a cost of $14,266. The lot cost $8,000. The architects were Charles Wheelock and Son. A few years later, however, the South Side and South Highlands had grown so that they needed more than just 4 classrooms in this building, and they enlarged the building, and the annex of it cost $35,000. At that time, they put the auditorium up on the 3rd floor. Of course, later it was moved down to its present location, and where the auditorium is today used to be 2 classrooms. There have been many changes in the years. Lakeview, though, continues to be an important community in the city of Birmingham.
Thank you, Penny Cunningham. By the way, Mim is a former teacher here at Lakeview and is now a program specialist for the Birmingham City Schools. Well, welcome back, and you're probably wondering where to go. Well, this sign you will find in the auditorium, and it indicates your class and the room where your class should report. By the way, if you're thinking of refreshments are now being served in the gymnasium. Now, on the first floor, 1901 through 1915 will meet in the library. The classes of 1916 through 1920, room 13. The classes of 1921 through 1925, room 15. The classes of 1926 through 1930, room 16. And the classes of 1931 through 1935, room 17. These on the first floor. Now, on the second floor, the classes of 1936 through 1940 will meet in room 22. The classes of 1941 through 1945, room 23. The classes of 1946 through 1950, room 24. The classes of 1951 through 1955, room 25. The classes of 1956 through 1960, room 26. And the classes of 1961 through 1965, room 27. Welcome to Lakeview School, everybody. Welcome back.
This interesting picture of boys and girls was taken in 1912 when Miss Nanny Davis was principal. Here is Principal Homer Wesley, and here you see a safety patrol group opening a car door. The boy on the left is one of the Bayer brothers. Oh, and another group out on a geology field trip. In here you'll see Hubert Goings, Bryson Wygan, Joe Kimbrough, and Jack Shannon out. And there's one other boy back there. I believe he was a visitor with the class that day. They were out at an old Indian mound site. Here are 2 popular teachers, Audrey Kuhn, 8th grade teacher on the left, and Mattie Lou Bernard McPherson on the right, 4th grade teacher usually, sometimes 3rd grade. Those of you in Miss Kuhn's room remember sleeveless dresses or nail polish. This is an airplane named for Lakeview School during World War II. It was because they raised the money to finance that. This is our former principal, John Wood. And Principal John Tarrant. Now principal at Smith School, I believe. And Principal Walter G. Alsmiller, who is now in the guidance department at the administration building of the Birmingham schools. And here you see a class of graduates. We're going to be seeing now a number of classes of boys and girls who've gone through this school. If you can't find yourself as the pictures are shown, go into the auditorium where you are going to find these pictures mounted on boards, and you can study and see how many you remember and recognize in your class. While these pictures are passing on the screen in front of you, I might bring to mind some other things you will remember about the school. Everything from fire drills to banking every Monday morning, Remember the Red Cross clubs that were so active, making Christmas packages in boxes and filling stockings? And the 8th grade always had a high-Y club and a tri-high-Y club. Miss Kuhn was real active in supporting those, and it ended in big parties every year. Amber Lyle sponsored a flower show every spring, and we always had an art show. Don't forget the bicycle rodeos and the competition at winning. Lakeview won the trophy many, many times. Remember Dr. Simpson coming and checking your eyes, ears, nose, and throat every year and how scared you were? The Gideons always came every year to the 5th grade and gave them Bibles, small hand-sized, palm-sized Bibles. Lakeview's had a lot of firsts at the school. We were one of the first schools to get an electric sewing machine in the home economics room. That was in 1955. We were one of the first to have an enrichment class for gifted students, to have fluorescent lights. They were installed in 1945. And in 1946, we were quite modern. We were the first to paint the building in pastel colors instead of the institutional beige. We were one of the first to have a pottery kiln in the art room. And in 1954, our PTA spearheaded the movement to do away with midterm promotions. You know, we used to have graduating classes in January and then again in May. Well, in 1954, Lakeview PTA started a drive, and they were successful in eliminating midterm exams. The last time the old bell up on the top was rung was with a hammer, and it was at a Halloween carnival that was held here at the school in the 50s. But to my knowledge, I don't believe the bell has been used really in more than 45 years, as far as I can research and find out about it. But I know you'll enjoy hearing it ring tonight, and the school plans to ring it many times after this. In 1972, just recently, we were the first to pilot the program we have here now called IGE. Now, IGE stands for Individually Guided Education Program. And if you go around the classrooms and see the children all doing different things and no one sitting in rows like you used to do, that is one of the parts and programs of IGE education. I'm sure that many of you can think of many things, and many things are being said today that you're remembering that I wish I could share with you. One other thing you might remember, the murals in the library were painted during WPA days when the government had to help keep the artists of our country alive by painting the murals, and the black and white block prints around the building were also a result of that. Speaking of art, now here's something that really is a flash and something brand new, because we have a new program, a proposal already developed, ready to put to work here at Lakeview, and it's going to be another first. A special task force composed of many of you and many parents, teachers, program specialists, and administrators have developed a plan to establish Lakeview as a demonstration school in Birmingham where all of the arts are an integral part of the total daily education of all of the children. Now, this isn't going to be an art school designed to train artists and musicians, but rather a school to serve all basic educational needs of all students in the community through self-expression and the arts. Now, here's Bert Silman to reminisce with another set of pictures. Bert, it's all yours.
61. In the class of 38, here are Margaret Drennan Blair, Polly Cromer Alexander, Winifred Marshall Briggs, Jane Shropshire. Here's Betty Kinney, Peggy Caller, and Helen Phillips. Here's Ruth Beckton, Virginia Woodson, Louise Poe Hairston, all class of 38. Constance Alter and Jack Alter in 38. Here's Teeny Shropshire Spear and Oscar Lee Bennett, 39. Florence Hill House, Tracy Murrell, Jerry Hayden, Mary Shropshire, Mary Cabot, Georgia Threet, Betty Cranford, Nancy McCrumman, Joyce Gaston, all during the Christmas holidays. Jimmy Wright in 1939. Virginia Reeves Brown, Tracy Muriel Morris, Priscilla Graham Mapes, all in 1938. Here's Joe Shropshire at Camp DeSoto. And Ruth Sibley, class of 39. Graduation day, May 38. Virginia Reeves Brown, Joanne Ulrich, Georgia Thweet Mills, Priscilla Graham Mapes. And coming up is our principal, Mr. J.R. Skinny Gardner. At a swimming party at Bert Silliman's, here's Mary Shropshire Lowry, Peggy Plunkett Badham, and Allie Mara Montgomery. This motley-looking crew here is Woodrow Lawley and Irving Wolfe, I see. Polly Cromer Alexander, Margaret Drennan Blair, Clifford Beasley in 38. And graduation day, here's Gertrude Rudolph Sherrod with diploma. Graduation day 38, Clifford Beasley, Jimmy Hard, Billy Shannon, Alan Jordan. Here's Leuna Dixon Fleming in 38. Graduation day 38, Allie Morrow, Leuna Dixon, Mickey Marshall, Moselle Hill, Gertrude Rudolph, Lenore Caldwell. And here's Allie Morrow Montgomery in 38. Schaefer and Margaret Gresham Livingston, class of 38. We were told Bert Silliman's wife, Virginia, on the right looks like his old girlfriend, Mary Shropshire Lowry, on the left. Here's Betty Jane Thrice, pictured in 36 in front of Lakeview. Here's Polly Cromer Alexander. Here's some more Shropshires, Teeny Shropshire Spear and Joe Shropshire. Here's Leanne Lowry and Susan Burnett, class of 61. And here's a party at Leanne Lowry's platter party in 1961. Walter Andrews, Blythe McLeod, Johnny Sue Links, and Bill Ennis.
Well, here's Mr. Lakeview himself, J. Clyde Orr. Mr. Orr came to Lakeview in 1921 and was the principal here until 1936. Amber Lyles came the same year that he did and took over the library, which was established in 1923. Louise Calhoun came this year, too. Mr. Orr saw many changes his years, and here you see him, no change in him. Mr. Orr, taken in 1958, when he returned to Lakeview, he came in 52 and stayed until 1960. His years there, in the meantime, we've gotten the underpass. Oh, next picture, let me move on. To your left, you'll see B. Hood. That's Louise Calhoun, the tiny one in the middle, and next to her is Evelyn McQuitty, primary teachers, and peeping over Miss Calhoun is Iris Thomas and Ethel Thomas. Iris Thomas later became Miss Bruce Johnson. May 1947, special teachers, Bill Rose, auditorium and music, I'm going left to right, Miss Lyles, library, Mrs. Graves, handwriting, Libba Floward, physical education, behind her, Emma Montgomery, science, Ruth Batson, manual training, and down in front, Helen Bass, art teacher. Now, these safety patrol boys that look like they're seeing a vision were a great bunch. Down in front, you'll see Ward Watson. There's Bill and Mark Ford in there. You'll also spot John Thompson, Larry Wilson, and the flagpole in the background, and they look like they're seeing a vision, and they were angels. They really were. Now, this is a relay team that won all sorts of honors in the city. Libba Floyd with her boys. That's Charlie Weaver, the tall one. Then Mike Hartsfield. And down in front, Ed Donahue and Richard Ogle. This is Principal O.A. Farr, better known as Red Farr, principal from 1946 until 1953. He later became assistant superintendent in charge of physical education and athletics for the entire city of Birmingham. Now you see Miss Emma Montgomery, who came to Lakeview in 1945 in the science department, and her classroom was down in the basement, we'll say, and she was well loved and well known for showing beautiful films and movies that she collected from all over the United States. Long way. Look at those books. Baldwin readers and blue-black spellers. We even had a few McGuffey readers. But we've survived Dick and Jane, and I hope you'll get a chance to look at the beautiful books that are used in our schools today. Just unbelievable printing and color and material. Now, this young fella is John Felton, the present principal of Lakeview School. He has a twin brother. In case you think you're seeing double, you're not. They look just alike. In 1953, Lakeview had the world now champion Little League team, and the three players that made headlines were Bruce Gardner.